Okay, we need all eyes on Congo. Right now, Rwandan-backed M23 rebels have just taken over the town of Sake, which is a key route into Goma, the regional capital in eastern DRC. It looks like Goma will fall any day or any week now. We need all eyes on Congo. Rwanda is doing this at the behest of external powers and using the same playbook that the Western powers use to bomb Iraq, to bomb Yugoslavia for 78 days straight. In Iraq, they said they were doing it to protect the Kurds. In Yugoslavia, they said they were doing it to protect the Kosovans. Now, Rwanda is claiming to destabilize a region of millions and millions of people, displacing up to 8 million people, making so many people internally and externally displaced to protect one ethnic group when there are over 250 ethnic groups in Congo. So this whole attack is a facade. They want Congo's resources. Congo's been blessed with some of the most resources of any country in the world, but in many ways they've been cursed, because if they didn't have the cobalt, the coltan, the tin, the lithium, you name it, underneath their ground, the Congolese people in eastern DRC would be okay right now. So all eyes on Congo. Peace.
Yeah, here's a video I picked from African Stream. For those who don't know African Stream is one of the finest platforms in Africa that, dish out credible information on things that are going on in Africa. However, I think as at last year, towards September or so, they were deplatformed, and then they were taken out of all social media platforms except X. And I wonder why. I think it's because the African Stream have been known to give very credible information that truly affect Africa, and they are one of the news outlets that are truly concerned about Africa. Here is a statement from the CEO of African Stream, and he's talking about Congo. This Congo area, if you study African history very well, I think it is like the most exploited area in Africa. King Leopold of Belgium exploited Congo so much that even the atrocities that he committed on the Congolese was so inhumane that even the Europeans themselves could not bear to see these things like that. It is something that I've always wondered. Like he said here, he said, if Congo did not have the resources it has, lithium and cobalt, and all of these natural resources, wouldn't Congo be peaceful? Most African territories that we see today that tend to have terrorist attacks, that you hear a whole lot of rebel groups sprout around those areas as a result of the natural resources that are in those areas. And it's like natural resources in Africa has become more of a curse than a blessing. Now he's saying that Rwanda now is taking an attack on Congo at the behest of the European powers, meaning the European powers are using Rwanda as the banner, as just the front police to carry out their action. Now he asked this question and say, we have over 250 ethnic groups in Congo, but it is a particular area, Goma, right, the eastern DRC, that is being attacked. Why is it being attacked? Why not other areas? It is because that area is known to be very, very much blessed. And it is such a sad thing to see that these things are natural occurrences. When the white man wants to attack Africa, sometimes he uses the African brothers. There's a video I'll be playing later, and I think it is the Niger president who is saying that Nigeria is conniving with France, to set up terrorist attacks around Nigerian area that are very close to Niger and attack Niger. Niger, like Chad, like Burkina Faso, like Mali, these countries have been known to be under their past colonial masters' shackles for a very long time, and then recently they were able to get themselves out. And ever since that period in time, we have had Western media try to propagandize them. We've had Western media try to label these leaders as dictators, as incompetent, with different labels, but it has not worked. But now, what did they do? They are trying to use the African countries' neighbors, to attack them. And it's such a sad event to see that Africans themselves, turn out to be the ones that work hand in hand with these, our past colonial masters, at the expense of their own brothers and their own neighbors. I don't know the day that African leaders will truly come together. In fact, we have the AU, and the AU itself does not seem to be functioning in favor of Africans. Because you wonder why we have African Union, we have the ECOWAS, we have all of these alliances, all of these groups. or we have all of these organizations, of which were created with the aim of fostering peace, of fostering security, of uniting us, and of growing the continent. But however, when it comes to dire matters, we do not see them function like that. I hope that this particular attack that is said to be imminent and will take place in Goma, I hope that a good intervention comes in place. I hope that the people of DRC, the Eastern DRC Congo, experience peace. A whole lot of people have been displaced already, and it is such a sad event that these things continue to happen every time. It is these things that I see in African history that makes me want to teach African history. However, even Africans themselves are not aware of these things, and they do not really gain too much interest anymore in African history, in these things that are very important concerning Africa themselves. I wish that Africans themselves can understand these internal politics that go on and can always predict that these things are not really how we see it, and that they are most times fostered by external powers. Because the question we should always ask is that these areas, if there were no resources in these areas, would these areas not be peaceful? I mean, look at other areas that are almost always very peaceful. You can tell that yet they are yet to discover mineral resources in these areas. But the areas which are known to have mineral resources have not been peaceful. Even Nigeria, like this Sambisa area, is said to be very, very rich in natural resources, and that area for a very long time has experienced unrest. The people have experienced countless bombs and killings and displacement, and it is such a sad thing. I always say that in areas in Europe that have these natural resources, why don't we see these kind of things happening there? It is always in Africa, and Africans are always being used against each other. I'm hoping that maybe we would see a way around it and see how we can fix this. And I'm sending my peace out to the people in Goma area in Congo.